Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Colin.
This is Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we don't have a crazy tournament for you this week. Not more of a Swiss style, but without any watches and no chocolate. Today, actually on Zbuczyn, Rang, who do we have and what are they bringing to this fray?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have ourselves Neutron playing 28th Jaeger with a balanced income. And on the right-hand side in red, we have Arai-san, or Arai-san, I don't know. Anyway, he playing 7th Mech core, and he will be balancing up with a balanced income.
It's kind of weird to see balanced income. I mean, this is something that we've seen the meta has shifted desperately into the idea of being more and more kind of weighted on one end of the battle or the other. Why balanced income? Is it a map decision? Is it a division kind of idea? What's the issue here?
I think it's just we don't really see balance on balance, or just in the replays we've casted balance on balance. Balancing is pretty decent income, especially if there's no time limit, of course. But I know it's going to be interesting to see just two balanced guys. We're not going to have that dynamic of, oh, if this guy doesn't win in 20 minutes, he's lost the game.
That's certainly true. That's certainly true. Now, one thing I think I'm kind of interested by over here is the 28th Jaeger's kind of setup. I mean, 28th Jaeger doesn't get a lot of your classic tanks, so you tend to kind of depend on air power to kind of supplement your forces. But if you look at his air power, he's got 2 fighter bombers and everything else is just straight interceptors.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of anti-air either, which also makes sense.
Yeah, which is just, it's wild. Like, what the heck is going to happen? Because if you look over here on the opposite side, a lot of PE2s. That 7th Mech could be terrifying.
Yep. He's just going to really win these infantry engagements, and in the town, he's definitely doing that. Those Strelkies, they're trying to hold on to their lives, but with that many Jaegers boiling down on him, that will not go well. And this town, as we've seen time and time again on this map, and I wish we see this map more often, is a pretty key aspect. Because once you control the town, it really allows you to either push up north or down south effectively.
True. Very true. Like Sinatra, this town is a make you or break you town. That is certainly true. Unfortunately, most Polish villages have not been visited by Sinatra, but, you know, old Blue Eyes there did get around over New Jersey, or so I've heard. Sturmjägers, in the meantime, of course, these guys, deliciously ferocious in terms of firepower.
Yep. All those Sturmgewehren and 1-star veterancy buffed up to 2. Makes them pretty deadly in these town fights, as we're seeing. Really, I mean, Arai-san needs like some good fire support vehicles, such as SU-152s, to come and supplement his forces.
And wouldn't you know it, he's got one of those behind the lines. Not quite there just yet, though.
And then bring in some more, another T-34, and some more infantry to try and keep a foothold in that town, because you can't really afford to lose it.
No, you can't. I mean, there's just so much utility is derived by basically these 4 intersections, 2 on the blue side right now and 2 on the red side.
You really want to keep control.
Exactly, and you got to keep control. But looking to the north, looking to the south, the north might have a potential kind of mini push. It's a slow developing one. It's all on foot, of course, and there's a Dushka there that can definitely shut things down. Stroke a DP being moved in behind the support. Southern side, chilling, just doing their thing.
Yeah, both sides setting up a lot of truce here down south. I think maybe for Arai-san, just call him Arai-san, really is his best bet to probably try to push a little bit heavy on the flanks. Yeah, I do like her up north, those 2 superiors meant to capture those 2 flags, just to buy him a bit of time and give him a nice little +1 for the time being. But he is continuing that assault onto the town, and he does have adequate fire support with the SU-152s. This is about getting him into position to actually provide adequate fire support.
Well, and that's the thing, though, is that Stoke G keeps him at range. The Stoke G is in and of itself not the most terrifying of weapon systems, but if he sits in a single spot, doesn't have to turn, especially these town fights. We talk about it constantly. Assault guns in a, just holding a road kind of position, perfect. It's when they get to the open fields that starts to really kind of work against them.
Yeah, he's on a really good spot of those at Stug, and as we know, 28th Jaeger, it's going to be very important how he utilizes his Stugs, because you don't get a whole lot of him, and a very good tank, assault gun, tank destroyer, whatever you want to call it in your arsenal, because you don't have a whole lot of him.
True, and taking out a Komroti even by itself, that is a very good kill. any single time you can take out a tank is a great thing. Any single time you can take out a command tank, that's just that much more delicious, that much better.
Indeed, the superior up north has been found out and actually holding out a pretty good fight. Just having that cover is definitely giving them that advantage over the regular Jaeger. But we're seeing more infantry being pushed in the town here from Arai-san, Zbuczyn, and 2 more stroke DPs.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about their long-term prognosis. I think right now they're being supremely helped out by the fact that the Sturg is not quite in a position to do infantry support. But
now he is.
But yes.
Yeah, it's a very good position that Dark Neutron has in his town. He has a whole lot of infantry in it, and of course the 28th Jaeger infantry is really quite scary and plentiful. Like I'm still baffled how like the regular Jaegers are 20-point squads. I don't think it's imbalanced because it's one of the main things which is going for division. But just the weapon loadout on them is insane for the price.
Exactly. And why is that weapon loadout so insane? Obviously, I mean, like, I'm not asking for like the theoretical, but like.
Bro, we got the MG42, a Panzerfaust, and 7 SMGs for 20 points. Yeah. Like, you can do good long range with the MG, you can do good short range with the SMGs, and heck, I mean, Panzerfaust on a 20-point squad is not bad, or seen some bombing being dropped into the town, or some bombs, I should say, and bombs do well. Bombs kill Stugs, don't gun boom.
Well, yeah, that is one thing you have to worry about is when you get too stuck in the mud and when the bombs come down. I mean, it's gonna be... It's not raining men, it's raining explosions, but we'll see what kind of happens as the game continues to develop. And I think I'm a little confused by this door knocker is still sitting in the back of the school. There we go. There we go. So that door knocker is just kind of chilling.
Yep. Need to get into a bit of a better position here, but finally knocking out that Star Arai-san is making some decent progress into the town now. Slow but steady. But, I mean, both sides are playing balanced. It's probably going to be a bit slow and steady. There's no real urgency from either side to win in 20 minutes. They can just try and grind down and get into, you know, good trades so they can secure victory.
That's true. That's true. It's actually kind of perverse that the 7th Mech is not really a fast-moving attack division. It's far more slow than the name would actually kind of imply in my mind.
Yeah, especially how Arai-san is playing it. He's using those SU-152s quite a bit, a decent amount of the SU-76Is, which are pretty decent. I mean, you are a pretty good T-34 76 SPAM division, and you do have the infantry to back it up, but especially right now, he's just playing it siege mentality, just trying to blow the Germans out of these buildings.
Well, he's got to do that. Again, he cannot stand up to the firepower for each one of those squads puts out. Jaegers by itself, like you mentioned, you cannot get close with them. I'm not going to say that Tenko Desant Nikki cannot be, trade decently against them. I'm not going to imply that. But what I will say is that the Papa Shah over here, the Tenkos, the Autos, basically, those guys are still going to take heavy, heavy losses, as opposed to a lot of the other German infantry where they get close and that's when the game's over for the Germans.
Yeah, and with Jaeger infantry, they are pretty versatile at multiple ranges, close and short range, or especially when you're going strokey DP and tanker doesn't need key. Strokey DP is good at long range, tanker only good at short range. Much more specialized in their loadouts here.
True.
Just about getting them into a correct environment for killing environment.
True. I'm always, have to laugh at the fact that the Sturmgewehr 44 should just have done the MP 44. But then Hitler was like, you know what? The name's not cool enough.
No. We need to Sturm with it.
Exactly.
And it's a Gewehr. We can't forget it. It's a Gewehr.
A lot of air power being called onto the map here. I think he's just trying to unmask the 37 mil. Yep, here's 4 planes all go for that 37 mil. Some of you may die, but that is a risk I am willing to take.
But will Denny Shaw be able to shoot down the fastest flyers? There's an awful lot of fastest flyers. I'm gonna doubt it. Those bombs are pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, there's also a lot of extra firepower on. Wow. Wait, guys, there's 5 of you. Get in there, you cowards.
Come on, your fucker rules. Fuck them up.
Yeah, exactly. Don't just fuck off.
Yeah, jeez. That was so anticlimactic. We like our furballs to be deadly, not just playing around with it.
Yeah, show your claws, dang it.
Yeah, he's throwing now doing some gun runs on the 37mm, but does 0 damage. So really, really anticlimactic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted more death and destruction.
Don't we all? I think that's what we all want in our lives. Just a little more death and destruction.
Just a little bit, at least.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a victimless crime in this case. They're all digital 1s and 0s, so I feel a little bit less bad about it. Now, we are to Phase B, and as you look over here at the decks again, and you're trying to look back through it, a little more infantry for the Russians. I mean, the Germans, I feel like, are really where they should be kicking it into high gear here. Potential 16 Stokes coming on in, another 6 190s. Heck, they even get some off-map as well with the 172 5s. So, should be a
quite
delicious
curious
amount.
if we do see a bit of Jaeger artillery here. Because he also has enable Fs and C phase. Which would definitely be good on a map like this. And B phase, yeah. They're definitely good on a map like this, as you can, especially in the town fight, just, you know, blow up a concentrated infantry force here. When if we look at Arai-san's force, he does have a nice foothold back into the town. But it's only a foothold right now, and it's still just a rather standard trove. This is slow and steady. Both sides is really gearing for a town push. So, actually, Dark Neutron is, you know, doing a bit of skirmishing down south here, it seems.
I think he's only doing skirmishing, though, just because there's been just a smidge of aggression from those Strelkies. They moved up just enough to take that southern crossroads, which is kind of a silent killer. It's one of those things, especially considering how close those forests are. These are places that, honestly, I'd be staking Automachikis. Those would be the areas I'd be staking Tango Desantnikis. I want to put super, super deadly infantry down there. I'm a little bit surprised that we have Strelkies instead.
Yeah, I think the reason being is there's a little bit of light forest between the heavy forest. I mean, yeah, you do want to have Avtos and stick them in ambush in the heavy forest areas. Yeah, he really should probably have some Avtos, because once those Sturm Jaegers and once any Jaeger comes through, it's going to be pretty nasty. Unless you can catch them out in the open like this, that Strelky DP's in a pretty good spot.
So PE2 takes out another Panzer Jaeger, but it looks like he might actually go down. I say might, because Lord knows... Oh, there we go. I was waiting for, you know, Castor's Curse to kick in and be like, haha, he's invulnerable. But yeah, you're right. If we're looking down to the south now, we have Stroke UDPs. They are engaged in some Jaegers. It's not super crazy right now. Just kind of testing each other a bit and unveiling infantry wherever he can.
Yeah, if he can just catch those infantry out in the open with the Stroke DPs, he should be in a pretty good position having that green cover. It's much better than yellow cover.
Well, you know, once you agree that's how you always want to be seen. I don't know, something like that. Yes, sir.
No, we're seeing the Su-76s being brought in now. I'm guessing he's going to use them as indirect artillery support. I believe he had a he does have the combat. You know, it doesn't have any radio units in the front line here. So actually, the Su-76 might just be close enough to give its own accurate radio fire, so it's not really that big of a deal.
One thing I didn't really pay attention to is that Arai-san over here, or Arai-san, or AS basically, when we're looking at this, he's putting up a quite considerable anti-air net. This to me screams for tube artillery, off-map artillery, really anything. I'm really kind of hoping that Dark Neutron starts to see that opportunity here. Right now, we haven't seen any artillery really from either side.
Yeah, he has 4 37mm guns being set up onto the field, which is definitely quite a bit for a 1v1, and really his only main threat is 2 Fokker-Wulf bombers. I mean, I get it, he wants to definitely secure air superiority and also deal with the fighters as well, so his bombers have a bit of a safer airspace to work with.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. And I also feel like the ADA can be utilized on infantry too, so not exactly the soft targets you might really want to be utilizing it on, but
5 37mm, there we go, he is...
Yeah, there's so much.
That is an awful lot of investment here. And as we're seeing, Dark Neutron investing quite a bit in ground forces, a whole heap of Jaegers, more Stugs. I mean, it's just coming down to the grind in the town, and it is getting quite grindy.
One thing that does bother me slightly is that he's not finishing his kills. There we go. He might actually finally take out the ace. There we go. He's finally down.
Good
but
kill.
he wasn't finishing his kills. I feel like it's this huge missed opportunity. There we go, another bomber. So maybe he heard me. Maybe he heard me.
Yeah, really good air superiority here from Dark Neutron. Even with the anti-air, he's dealing with it quite effectively. Arai-san is starting to counterattack. It seems a bit down south. Dark Neutron's infantry push has been repulsed and is now running for the hills, or for the forest, I should say.
Ah, he's just acting out like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Meantime, you're right. Town is very red. Certainly bleeding from what my perspective is. And I'm kind of fascinated. Are we going to see... Yep, martyrs. There we go. At least one martyr, anyway.
Yeah, he does have... Yeah, one card of yours, so definitely a good supplement to his stugs. Yeah, this is... Like, I mean, I'm not too surprised this is how the matches go in. 12-12, things are being very balanced. It sets balance on balance for you. But both sides definitely feel like they do have opportunities which they're just not really exploiting. I mean, up north there's a, decent strike package here from Dark Neutron, which is okay. He's finally moving up a bit. Trying to cap at one flag, yeah. Being held by a one-stroke DP.
I think he's just trying to make sure he can engage without being seen by the Dushka.
Yeah.
And the thing is
he
that
just brings in some fire support.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is that the Strokies are actually sitting on the downslope. So you can't see them. Beautiful placement over here, really, by Arai-san. So you can't see it, but they do exist. And you see them over here probably pop up in a second. So the Dushka, in the meantime, got to do what he does best. Throw rounds down range, do a little bit of suppression, maybe get a kill or two. He's not there to be the casualty including kind of idea. He's just there to just kind of cause a little bit of havoc.
Yeah, and that's a good cheap heavy machine gun to have in the flying kill. I don't know, I think his Jaegers are going to be enough to pin him down.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that will be enough. One of them's pretty low in machine gun ammo, so that's not going to be all that great. Focke-Wulf's going to try and strafe. He's going to try and strafe. Will he get kill?
He does.
Yes, he does. Now, Jaegers have pretty much free reign to move up, cap that flag, and surprise the Stroker DPs with Simcavers.
Or heck, even use the MP40s moving on in. I mean, that would be even fine by itself.
That works too. At close range, a gun's a gun.
Exactly. Now, 4 more aircraft are being sent in. Dear Lord. Okay, they're all going after 37 mil at a time. Yeah, I guess technically this is a way to go after it. If you put so many targets in the air, I guess it works.
Yeah. Oh god, one does get shot down, so the anti-aircraft net is doing something. But not enough. Not enough.
I continue to believe that they're missing an opportunity of actually throwing any kind of aircraft into the air with some artillery, but it's just me.
Oh, down south we're seeing a bit of a pick-up here. Dark Neutron once again trying to push, but I mean, Arai-san is a really good force down south to actually pick up a flag or two here. 3 flags, really.
Yes. Yes, and that's the thing, is that without any kind of heavier support, the southern flank has the potential to completely fold over here to the west. Support was not what I meant with a single Focke-Wulf, but hey, if that works, it works. Stroker DPs hanging on out, doing their thing, and it ain't gonna be pretty, but
no.
There we go. By the way, to the north, the Stroker DP has been forcing some surrenders over here, actually, so he might just take the flag back just from just sheer bloody-minded stubbornness.
He's in a good ambush spot here, just allowing the T-34 and other infantry reinforcements to come in, relieve him of his duty.
And another PE2 goes down. Jeez.
Oh, damn.
Is that the 4th one? The 5th one? It's been at least 3.
Oh, no, I haven't been keeping count, but, yeah, Dark Neutron's doing a really good job of making sure the skies are his and stay his. With his rather limited air power. I mean, Arai-san doesn't have a whole lot of aircraft either, but still.
As of your idea about the Su-76s, yep, we are in close support artillery fire, hitting those Jaeger positions. The poor buggers are getting forced into another building here, and I think T-3476 engaging those new Sturmjägers on the road. And another freaking train of just pain coming on in. So strafing the... Yep. The Su-76 is being strafed.
Really do anything?
Them doing anything is not really the idea. I think they're just trying to get us set up for some sort of bombing opportunities otherwise. Or not.
No,
I've been wrong before.
Stresses them out a bit, does a little bit of high explosive damage, but Arai-san making pretty decent headway into the town. The main thing is that he does have fire support backing him up. His T-34s and Su-76s when they're not being stressed out. Dark Neutron's main fire support so far has just been the constant air power. He's bringing a whole heap of Stugs now. Not one, not two, but 3 Stugs. 4 Stugs. That's a lot of Stugs.
Yes, indeed it is. So let's look at the positioning of a lot of them. And yeah. So 2 centrally, okay. So watch for a swinger in the southern part of this town. I'm not sure it's really the best option because there's still that Su-85 that's right there. So expect to see at least 1 kill, if not 2.
Yeah, and even the Su-152. I mean, that's not super scary, but still not nice to be hit by.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is actually looking pretty good here for Arai-san. He's really starting to get the momentum in his favor now. I feel like down south and in this like southern central town position, he definitely has the armored support to actually make good headway. And we've seen even more anti-air being brought in.
Yeah,
he's really dedicated to make it to the skies of his.
But now it's sea phase, so this screams bring in a naval Werfer.
Oh yeah.
A naval just obliterate the entire center part of your opponent's defense, and you know the anti-air is there. You've been getting shot at constantly.
Yeah, he really just needs a good concentrated strike in that force off map, but also work quite well. Actually, it hasn't been in the off map, which is also quite surprising. This would have been a pretty head-on fight. No artillery allowed apart from the Su-76s.
So the Trip Stogs take out the Su-85 very quickly. And I'm wondering if the fact that we're seeing the Su-76s... Oh no, it's an 82 mil in the south. Okay. So there's a Soviet stovepipe in the south. Not gonna be the greatest concentration of firepower, but maybe that reminds Dark Neutron that, hey, I do have artillery.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet.
Because they're down south is starting to collapse here. There's really not a whole lot left. I mean, we've got some 7th Jaeger reinforcements, which will perform pretty well in CQC, but I feel like Arai-san's not even really interested in pushing down south. He's pretty happy just making sure the crossroad stays red.
Which is kind of a weird decision, all things considered. Because I feel like this is one of those things, yes, if you don't take the town, that's still fine. You can push both flanks. Your opponent cannot be strong everywhere at one time.
I think both sides have definitely been a little passive in their potential attacks and exploitations. I mean, Dark Neutron is... He's doing good. He's on a 13-11. He's on a pretty big points lead so far. Mainly just being able to harass up north a little bit still. But, let's see how it goes with his Stug push. That's a lot of Stugs, and then not well supported. Not a whole lot of recon.
Right at this point, too, it's like, oh, yes, boys, let's go on a nice little Sunday drive. What ho? And, as you might suspect, the ISU-122S is probably going to take at least one of them out. Yeah.
They're going to back off. Fortunately, there's no anti-tank behind them. I mean, the Su-85 did get killed, but still pretty dangerous for 3 Stugs to be walking around the neighborhood like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially after dark. Jaegers, in the meantime, trying to engage a lot of those Strokies coming down. And while Strokies are not going to take them out one-on-one, when you outnumber them 4 or 5 to 1, at least you can put some suppression on them.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, finally. He really needed that.
Yes, like.
And he's got off-map being brought in.
Oh, behind it?
There we go. This could really turn the tide in the center of full Dark Neutron. All of Arai-san's forces are extremely clumped up. I mean, we've got that force in the northern part of the town, force in the southern part of the town. Bada bing, bada boom, he could push through.
Hit the anti-air, maybe go and freak out everybody. Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. He's getting set up here for a pretty devastating strike. Because he is starting to falter a little bit in terms of just frontline forces. I mean, he really invested pretty heavily in those 3 Stugs, and I think they're going to be pretty limited in their effectiveness, especially down south in this forest area.
True. I will tell you the Butcher's Bill on this is not going to be pretty on either side.
No. It's been pretty grindy.
but I think at the end of it, I don't know. I feel like if the naval... There we go. Yep, there's one naval... the 210 off map going in there. That's going to be awful to deal with. But you got to make sure you have some actual infantry to follow it up, which right now there is no infantry to follow it up.
No. A shame, but it should do some pretty devastating damage nonetheless, just buying him some time.
And maybe that's the goal, is, you know what,
yeah.
I got 3 barrages, I'm going to go, chuck some rounds down range, and if it kills, it kills. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it'd be enough to at least get back at flag. And it's all about getting those flags. We've got some Stonemakers being brought in for the northern part of the town.
But not to be outdone, there's actually 6 squads, either on the actual front lines already, or being brought in as Sturmjägers, that are going to go and push down to the south, try to even out those front lines a bit. And the Strokies, oh my gosh, they're going across open ground in the middle of an artillery barrage. This is not going to be pretty.
Nope. Oh my god.
There's one brave idiot, squad, continuing to move west.
He's going to avoid it by getting close to the enemy. Smart move.
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah.
But yeah, 37 mils otherwise, engaging, doing pretty well. And again, guys, this is where you have to make sure that you start to be aggressive with anything. 3 squads are pinned down. It's time to attack.
Yeah. Honestly, Arai-san probably would have benefited by probably switching out one of those 37 mils for an 85mm anti-aircraft card. He's got a pretty good base of fire of 37 mils, but, you know, especially with fast Focke-Wulfs, you do need, you know, the heavy long-range anti-air to finish him off.
Naval buffer shot in the meantime, gonna completely whiff by pounding the zip code that just got left. And I don't know if that was because it got seen, or is it just dumb luck? Got it so that way he just decided to pull back.
He probably got seen. He's pretty close to the front line. And he's actually gonna load him back off. Whoa!
Oh no, DC.
Oh, as a DC?
Yes.
Oh no, I feel really bad casting this now because... Okay, Arai-san got the victory, but honestly that was
anyone's game.
That was Dark Neutron's game.
Yeah, especially at that point.
Yeah.
Especially at that point.
What a shame.
Looking at the material over here, though, too, it's, again, look at this Focke-Wulfs. The Focke-Wulfs clearing house in the sky. And then, honestly, doing a lot of stress material over here on the ground as well.
Yeah.
But hey, Dark Neutron, if you're out there, man, you were definitely playing it right. Arai-san, wasn't that you were playing it wrong, but just a little bit differently, maybe in the future, to kind of push those angles a little bit. Maybe just don't tunnel vision a lot. And that's something I know I still fall victim to, no matter if this game or anything else in the world. You're attacking me here, I'm going to throw troops there. Yeah,
it's a very just balanced match of balanced small pushes, but
exactly.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. I didn't know that was going to be a DC when I picked out his replay for the week, but that's what happened.
It does every now and again. Technology, heck, let's think about it this way. The radios back then barely worked. I think right now we had a 21st century example of that right here. Regardless, well played to both players. Definitely things to improve on both sides, but still, that's what these monthly tournaments are for. So, Rang, any final thoughts over here?
No, not today.
Well, folks, in that case, then, we will see you in a couple of days with another replay. Until then, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.